Yes, it's working. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Sacred Heart Connections segment on 1 Million Meditators. And thank you so much for comments that come in and questions. I love hearing from you, so please keep reaching out and asking. But today I wanted to talk about something that I believe is really out there at the moment, but with the questions I get asked, there seems to be a little bit of confusion, so I really wanted to talk about this today to everyone to hopefully start with more questions and comments coming through, to ask more, because that's the way that I get to know what it is that you need. But the interesting thing is the confusion around paradigm and what that actually means. So a paradigm is a pattern, it's a behavior, it's a belief in the mind, in the belief system. It's made up of, from when we were very, very young, if you looked at our paradigm, we'll call it the paradigm, the mind, taking on people's behaviour around us, and that could be anyone, grandparents, parents, school teachers, and we're little databases running around collecting information, and that becomes our paradigm, our patterning, our way of thinking. So when we say shifting paradigms, or the shift or release or whatever, what you're doing is changing that paradigm. A paradigm can also be a cultural belief, a religious belief of how the world should be or how we should behave. For example, here in Bali, they have a belief that a certain way you should dress, who can go to the temple, who cannot go to the temple, who comes in, who doesn't, who rules the country, who doesn't. Like this, there's lots and lots of beliefs, but that's just Bali. And I know when I've travelled to India, there's a similar mindset. It's a mindset. So it comes from whoever's ruling the country. So when we look at being children, it's whoever our parents are and grandparents, because they were around us and play a big impact on our belief system and our paradigms, our patterns, our behaviour. And then, so getting back to India, so India, again, it has similar, and same where I'm from in Australia. So every country has these cultures, and there's usually many. So you might have the government culture, which is run by someone whose paradigm believes we should be doing it this way. It might be many paradigms or patterns or behaviors of people that believe, because it's belief system, all the one thing, that we should do things this way. For example, with what's going on in the world at the moment, the paradigm would be, there's been Black Lives Matter, there's been education system, how people want parents want their education system to be in a different way, how now the new normal, what is that? The powers to be believe that we should be doing it this way. However, there's other people on the other side with evidence to say, no, we could do it this way. There'd be less harm and less mental health impact on the population. So there's many, many things, but that's what a paradigm is. It's someone's, basically, in the short of it, someone's belief system. Now, just to put things into perspective, if we use the old paradigm, so we're talking about the virus, and we're going to, a lot of people think they have to use the old paradigm. And that's okay, because that's where they're at. But from my perspective and my paradigm, my new way of thinking, this new world that we're coming into is going to be more love, more gratitude, more peace, and it'll keep thriving to that as the old paradigms and the old paradigm patterns of people move away. More people are going to be more open-hearted to receive the information that's out there. So my old paradigm perhaps would be, because I come from a corporate background and I come from My parents' belief system was work hard, otherwise you'll never have anything in your life, you'll never be any good at what you do, blah, 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 blah. Many, many paradigms there. So I had to overcome that and start to shift through it to find me and become who I am. So that's a little tip for all of us as well. Find out who you are and what it is you're here to do. And you can't do that when you're stuck in old paradigms, because it's inner work. So the inner work to shift that paradigm is to create new mindset, new, because the paradigms are in the mind, the patterns are there, the belief system, the subconscious is here in the head. So, and the mind and the body work together. So whatever the thought is, your body's going to feel that. Now that feeling becomes an emotion. So we've got to be mindful of that also. So when we're shifting new paradigms, when the paradigm shifts, we're going to feel different and we're going to feel more alive inside. We're going to feel more love for self inside. So we're going to learn how to think with our heart, because our heart holds a new paradigm, a new way of thinking and understanding, because scientists have only in the 90s proved that the heart has its own thinking mind. So it has a paradigm that we've never been taught before. As young children in our education system, we've never been taught that we have this inner power, which is a paradigm. I call it the paradigm power. Actually, watch this space, because that's going to be my next workshop's going to be on, the paradigm power and how to create that within you. So these are some of the questions you could perhaps ask yourself if you are open to shift your paradigm. So if your belief system is so powerful, you cannot shift. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to shift an old patterning. So this is like a religion. So you're brought up, and this is just an example. I'm just pulling one. The first one that comes to my head is Catholic. If you were brought up Catholic and there were certain beliefs and certain behaviours that you had to adapt to keep everybody around you happy, you become that. Now, if you decided when you were an adult that, hey, that's not really what I want to do, my belief system now is telling me something else, so I'm going to follow that path, which means you are following your life purpose. You're not following someone else's. So if you left your congregation or your, let's call it paradigm of people, just to give it a name, your congregation and paradigm of people that believe this is how you should behave, and anybody that doesn't behave that, you're struck out, you are not wanted in that congregation. Well, new paradigm is we are all equal, we are all the same, it doesn't matter. There is no colour black. I've never seen a black person. That's just something that's been put in our paradigm. Actually, I've got something here. This is black. Now, has anybody seen a person that's that colour, that's living? No, that's black. And I don't know where it comes from, this Black Lives Matter. So skin is just this, the physical. But we're going into our new paradigm, which is more love, more compassion for each other. So one of the things that really, really helps and has helped me is to keep going in. Now, to do that, I have to every day talk within. It's like having a little conversation with yourself, or self-inquiry, that you're actually asking the questions to the heart, which is why I created the many, many modalities of meditation under the Sacred Heart Meditations. But you can put your hand on your heart and you can say with your eyes gently closed, because it's easier to go in when your eyes are closed, because you're shutting off your senses, and you want to shut off the 5 senses that you use every day to come into the 6th. And the 6th sense is your spirit, your intuition, your higher self. There's many, many names for that as well. Supreme energy, your connection with divine. What is it? The question would be, what is it I can do to create something unique for the world, or to help the planet, to help myself, to help those around me, and to help the planet? Or what is it I can do to raise the vibration of myself and the planet? You don't want to leave out of the planet because you are part of it. You are connected to Mother Earth. You are connected to all the waterways, the rivers, the waterfalls, the ocean, everything. Plants, you're connected to it. So you want that to be given part of your energetic shift. And what will happen is your heart, your higher self, will start to give you insight. You'll just have this inner knowing. So the communication in the heart is a little bit different to the communication having a conversation with my next door neighbour or something. It comes in the way of a feeling, but the insight goes into consciousness, and you just know. You have an inner knowing that is the right thing to do. So, for example, I remember years ago when I was studying in India, and the professor of yoga who I was studying with would say, never point the finger out, always point the finger in. And when I learned this about how the subconscious works, that was in more trainings that I did, more study, that what he was referring to was always check in with this, not out there with someone else, because you have the thought, okay, the paradigm, the old paradigm that comes from someone else. It hasn't come from you. And then that thought becomes embodied in the body. So it's already been set. And then that thought creates a feeling, and that feeling will determine your action, your next step in life. So if your thoughts are telling you something else than what you're here to do, you will be on the wrong path, or you will be doing what someone else has told you. So you need to keep checking in and creating a new paradigm. It's very exciting, but on the other hand, because there's not many people that are awareness, so awareness is the knowing that this is what it is. And to learn about what this is, you need to study for, like I've been studying for since school age, haven't stopped. Done many things and researched and studied and done courses, went to university, many things, written books, read other people's books. But what I found about books is they all mean the same thing. They just say it in different words. And it's all about paradigms. Remember too, your thoughts, excuse me. Sorry, I just have a drink. Your thoughts, your paradigm, your patterning is energy. And energy is emotions, attached to emotion. So it's energy in, energy out. And what we're doing is our eyes are scanning, we're listening, we're smelling, we're taking on stuff, and that's interfering with our energy flow. So a good example, what I'd like to put out there is what I like to do. That helps me raise my vibrational energy frequency and change my way of thinking, change my paradigm. I like to be with people that make me feel happy, that are happy to be with, and then I walk away feeling great, and so do they. So it's a win-win, and it's also a win-win for the planet and for others, because it's there's an uplifting of energy in the frequency, the quantum field, if you want to call it that. And then mentors. So mentors might be a book. I have my favorite books that I read. I have my favorite people on YouTube that I listen to, especially when I can feel that my energy is lowering or I'm feeling out of balance. They're the same thing. If I feel unbalanced, I will reach for a book and read that. I'll make time for myself. I'll go and I'll go for a walk in Mother Nature, or go and do a yoga class, or maybe go to the gym. There's many things. So you need to, or maybe watch a couple of YouTubes, uplifting ones that are from really good influences. because paradigms control you, the old paradigms, and we want to step into the new paradigm, step away from that belief system, that paradigm, that patterning. So I hope that's helped so far, because as a channeler, like, I receive lots and lots of insight and lots of information, and I can connect with ascendant masters, people that have been here before, spirit, I'll just call it spirit world. But because the frequency is lifting, we're actually stepping into, for any of you who know of celestial beings and Palladians, they're here and they're transmitting light down to people, and like some people refer to it as a portal, but it's just receiving and processing. Oh my God, there's another way. The spirit within me is telling me something else. So that's what that actually means. We've always been brought up to think without our heart, to use our head. You might remember being a child, and you think about that. Well, no, we didn't, because if we had have known better, we would have done better. And it's the same for our parents. Had they have known better, they would have done better, but they weren't taught to think with their heart also. So the heart only thinks in high vibration. It does not think in old paradigm way. So it's about reprogramming. It's about reprogramming and redeveloping, like develop a mindset, a paradigm that is good for you, good for others, and good for the planet. And I guess if you take a little notice about what's going on in the world, and I'm sure you all do, you'll see things are changing. So the light cannot come in until the darkness comes to the surface. So the darkness then opens up to let the light in. So, and that includes people. It includes systems, government systems, school systems. It includes many, many things, including self. This is old paradigm moving new paradigm. New paradigm is more love, more light, more peace. And another question that I like to ask myself is, what is it I can do to create something for the world or for people to help them? And you keep asking that, and the answers will come, because you're telling your heart, I believe in you. I believe that you have the answers for me. I believe you are my higher self, my higher intelligence, and I will just wait for the answer. If the answer doesn't come straight away, just give it a day or two and keep asking. It will come. You'll just wake up and you go, oh, I know what to do. I've done this work many, many times. It's your intuition. It's the same thing. So just trust, have faith. Another thing that I find really works, not only for me, when I'm teaching as well in groups and doing my workshops and retreats, is working with gratitude, but working with gratitude in not just writing. Out there at the moment, I've seen the other day someone said, write 10 things that you're grateful for. Well, maybe you don't have 10 things. Write 3. Start with 3. Never go big, because it might be not achievable for you. Don't put stress on yourself because it's going into old paradigms. Start with 3. And if you can move into 10, well, there's your 10. And if you can't, don't be hard on yourself. Try another 3 the next day, because we're all learning at different levels, and we're all learning how to shift and change these old patterns, these old paradigms, and come into the new paradigm. So one of the things that I'm grateful for is just every day I say thank you for my breath, because I've trained myself to be, my breath is my power, and it can release any negative energy away from me. My breath can also create a vortex of energy around me to protect me. My breath also can connect me to my guardian angels and spirit guides. So that's the way I've trained my new self, my new paradigm. And you might like to do other things, but with gratitude, I give gratitude for my breath. I give gratitude to my eyes for being able to see the beautiful sunshine or the plants, or even rain. If it's raining, I just say thank you. This rain looks so beautiful. The plants are really happy. They're looking really green and lush. So I'm grateful for that. So there's many things you might be grateful for, your family or for your work or for the food that you eat. Always give prayers to your food and gratitude as well, because it's coming from Mother Nature. Every meal that you have, and gratitude for the people around you, the people that help you thrive, because if we're going to work with the universal laws or create abundance, because abundance means many things, if we want to give the universe or the universal energy something to align with, we give thanks to the people that are in our lives that keep us uplifted, and then the universe says, oh, well, I'll send you more of those. So that's sort of how it works. It doesn't say that, but it feels that energy, and it aligns that energy of others with you to keep you uplifted. So try it out, see how you go. Pull back. Doesn't mean you don't have to do with people with low energy. Just pull back from them, and just, if you can't help them snap out of it very quickly, they're not ready for the new paradigm. They're still in their old paradigm, their old patterns, their old ways of thinking. And be okay with that, because we're all at different levels. Not everybody is ready for this big change that we're going through, and they're not ready to be in, they're still doing the work for the inner peace to come in, the inner love and the love for self. You can also do forgiveness. So a little forgiveness prayer that I do is just align one person that you're not happy with, that's treated you badly or whatever, and this is no excuse for them, but you don't want to hold their energy inside you, because it's going to interfere with you moving into your new paradigm, your new way of being. So what I do is forgive that person by, I write about what they have done, then I write about what I want to forgive about that, then I feel it in my heart. So it's like a little meditation, and there's some of this on my, if you go into my bio on Instagram and into my meditations, there's a forgiveness one in there. If there isn't, let me know, because I have done one, so I need to upload it. And I have an assistant, so sometimes I don't know if she's already done it, but I know it's there, so please let me know. But a forgiveness prayer, so you visualize the person that you want to forgive, and you visualize you and your pain, and you just visualize, just keep looking into their eyes until you feel them connecting with you in a way of, they wouldn't have known, if they'd have known better, they would have done better. It's just they don't know any better. They're stuck in their old paradigm. And for you to move into your new paradigm, you need to allow that forgiveness to take place and release any negativity that you're holding on about the way that they've treated you or done the wrong thing by you. And learning that forgiveness is how powerful that is will open you up for more light to come through. It is not an easy process, but it can be done very quickly if you have a guide. So I actually do that, and I find the process or the formula I use, it can be done in a couple of minutes. So you can reach out to me if you want to know more about that. And change your perspective. You know, I remember I had some fear come up about something, like I was going to join this group, but it costs money, and I thought, do I want to invest my money there? What's going to be good to me, blah, blah, blah. And I actually said, well, I've joined groups before, and I found, it's cost me a lot of money, and they have been of no benefit for me. They've actually made it worse because I followed what they wanted me to do. So, and this person I was having a chat with said, just change your perspective about that. And in that moment, that left. And I thought, that's so good. So change your perspective about something, and what happens is you will align with the right frequency of people to help you, and it'll come at, so if you think you can't afford something, ask that you receive the group or whatever you need help with. Like for me, I need lots of help with social media in these times and videos and things like that. So I asked for the right people to come along that are cost effective for me, like that I can afford, because there has to be a mutual energy exchange here. So I'm finding what's working really, really well, though. We do an exchange of energy. There's no money. It's more barter. Well, how about if you do give me this many hours, I'll give you this many hours of healing and meditations, and it won't cost you anything. So these are the new paradigm ways that we're going into. The person, here's another example, the person that helped me set up my courses online, she gets a percentage. And that seems to be, and she did it for a cheaper price. So these are the things these are the new paradigms and new ways of being. So it's changing your perspective and coming up with your own ideas about how to do that. And prime your brain every day. It's like, when you're about to paint a room and you want to fix up all the cracks first, then you put your primer on, like your first coat. That's not the main coat, but it's to seal everything. That's what you need to do every day. Prime your brain. It's prime time. Just say to yourself, where's my prime time? Make sure you do it if you can in the morning, but if you can't and you miss out because you got caught up in something else, just remember to do it. Prime your brain every day, your prime time. That's when you'll have those mystical experiences. They'll keep coming, and you'll just have this inner knowing. Your intuition will develop, and you'll open up. Your psychic abilities will increase, and everybody is going through this shift. No one's going to miss out. It's just some of us are going to be a bit slower than others because there's actually a lot of misunderstandings out there, and if the person's not ready as well, and their belief system or their old paradigm is telling them something else, it's really hard to crack through that sometimes. So that's about it for me. I'm now going to teach a workshop, so I need to get going. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on. Please put your comments in there. I'll have a look later for next week, and if you can, come on next week. So I'll be guided this week by the questions and comments I receive to what I'll be talking about next week in this segment. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Namaste.